That will never happen. That is why this is a cult death trap. Cartoons are an incredible tool to teach kids to color, count, share, or to obey. Hi folks, I'm Ryan, a former believer who's given myself permission to start asking questions I wasn't allowed to ask when I grew up in a cult. Watchtower recently dropped a new Caleb video, son Sophia, and we're going to watch it and then poke our eyeballs out together. Cartoons, when utilized for education, psychologists have long recognized how animation through color, narrative, repetition can teach kids everything from emotional regulation to problem solving. But when that tool is wielded by a high control group like Watchtower, it becomes something else entirely. Their animations aren't teaching kids, they're being conditioned. What looks like an innocent jungle adventure is a carefully structured lesson in obedience, sacrifice, and lifelong servitude. These days, I'm paying closer attention to how belief systems get passed down, especially the quiet, subtle ways they shape how kids see themselves and their place in this world. The cartoon's meant to spark excitement about becoming a full-time pioneer or preacher, but what's really being taught here is going far beyond that label. Okay, prepare yourselves. I'm just going to warn you, I will be doing a lot of interjections, so apologies early.
And we have one more announcement. Sister Lydia Diaz is now serving as a regular pioneer.
Okay. Right away, they cut to people clapping, a room full of people practically beaming at the announcement for Sister Diaz, which looks to be a very young sister. I mean, this is cartoons, but I'm guessing she's probably somewhere around about 12 to 15 years old, maybe. At this young age, Sister Diaz has achieved something that warrants a full group recognition. No mention of what it actually involves, just smiling faces, warm congratulations. And if you're a child watching this, like Caleb is, the message is pretty clear. This is something everyone around you wants you to be excited about and to do as well. And what I thought was really funny here, if you look around at the Kingdom Hall, it's very empty. It's barely filled. So even in the cartoon, the seats are empty. That tells you something.
We're so happy for you. We know you'll have many spiritual adventures ahead of you. Adventures ahead of you.
And look at how his face lights up. His imagination just goes wild. That word adventure is chosen very carefully. It's not responsibility or sacrifice. It's not you'll be standing in 100-degree weather next to a literature cart and people are going to walk right past you and ignore you and act like you're not even there. And of course, Caleb's imagination is running wild. He's picturing Sister Diaz in full Indiana Jones mode, hiking boots. She's probably got her binoculars, her hat on to protect her from the sun. Where in the world is Caleb? I don't know his last name. Listen, he's a kid. Who can blame him? He hears adventure, and of course his head is going to fill up with images. He's going to get excited thinking about exploration and discovery. But that's the trick. The organization uses his imagination against him. Then we cut to a gathering at someone's home after the meeting. It's not called a party because that wouldn't be a witness thing to celebrate somebody's accomplishment, but this does function as classic reward conditioning. You show up, you do what the organization tells you to do, you get praises, you get recognition, social warmth, and then it's really all over. Try getting this kind of admiration for doing well in a spelling or math test at school. Not gonna happen.
What?
Hey, Dad. I want to be a pioneer.
That's wonderful, Caleb. What do you think pioneers do?
They go on adventures?
A pioneer's life is exciting.
So Caleb tells his dad, I want to be a pioneer. And Caleb's dad asks him, what do you think a pioneer does? And Caleb says, go on adventures. And his dad does not correct him. He redirects him. He co-opts the idea of having a journey or an adventure. The fantasy gets to stay alive, but now he belongs to the organization. The hook worked, Caleb is inspired, and he wants in. And this is when his father steps in to recalibrate what that really means, but without ever challenging his desire. He doesn't ask Caleb why he wants to be a pioneer. He doesn't explore Caleb's thinking. He just affirms the impulse and starts framing it in theological terms.
Do you remember when we talked about being a publisher?
Uh-huh.
They preach the good news. But pioneering is a way we can give even more to Jehovah. Pioneers devote their time and energy to help as many people as possible to become Jehovah's friends.
I love...
Okay, notice how they're showing Sister Diaz flying from one scene to another. I don't know why, but in my head I just get I'm every woman, where she is supposed to be everything to everyone. Where is she as an individual in any of this? This is doing for others. Servitude. There is absolutely nothing wrong with volunteer work. That is not what this is. Pioneers devote their time and their energy to help people become Jehovah's friends. Now the word adventure is being redefined. It's no longer a jungle. It is devotion to an invisible being, really the governing body. But again, it's wrapped in relationship language. Becoming Jehovah's friends sounds really soft and warm and cuddly and very personal.
To become Jehovah's friends.
I love to do that.
What is not explained to this little child is that this friendship comes with strict conditions, and that pioneering is less about spiritual connection and more about being useful to the organization's goals.
I know you do. Pioneers also get to go to school.
Here we get a moment of honesty from Caleb. His face drops because, like most kids, the idea of school doesn't exactly thrill him.
Not that type of school. A special school.
He looked at the statistics and the numbers, and it takes hundreds, thousands of hours to bring one person into the flock.
That they attend with other pioneers, where they dig into the Bible and learn how to become an even better friend of Jehovah. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
But Dad quickly pivots. He tries to save it. It's not that kind of school. This one is special. It's framed as something exciting and intimate, a place to dig into the Bible and learn more how to be a better friend to Jehovah. It's just another sleight of hand. I don't know what is that? Is that magic?
So, pioneers don't go on adventures?
Oh no, they do. Pioneers look for Jehovah's friends all over the earth. And some travel to faraway places.
Caleb's resistance is anticipated, and it's very swiftly smoothed over with spiritual language. Some pioneers travel to far away places. This line is doing so much heavy lifting. It's reinforcing the adventure aspect, that adventure narrative. It's offering this vague promise of travel and fun without really clarifying that most pioneers stay local and often in very modest circumstances. They're poor. Nothing wrong with being poor. That's their aspiration. Speaking of aspiration, it's aspiration bait. And for a kid, even the possibility of global travel is enough to keep that dream alive.
You know, Caleb, keep telling others about Jehovah. And when the time comes, you will be ready to go on the adventure of pioneering.
Gag me with a spoon. All right, so Dad is closing the loop. The story starts with adventure, it introduces obedience, and then it circles back to that adventure narrative. But now the child understands that adventure means something very different. It's now a dedication of your life to the ministry, often at the expense of your personal life, of education, career, or even personal exploration and journeys. But because this is a cartoon and it's introduced with color and community and warmth, the word doesn't lose its shine, even as it quietly shifts meaning. Caleb's fantasy becomes funneled into his future. We saw how language like adventure and friendship with Jehovah is used to soften the reality of what pioneering actually demands. It's a hard life. The only thing that Caleb is going to be discovering on this journey is that this is a futile exercise. He will not be bringing people to Jehovah. He'll just be wasting his time. And just for funsies, I thought we could do this activity together. This is the official JW activity that goes along with the cartoon, and you're encouraged to draw yourself as a future pioneer. Like literally sketch out your commitment to the organization before you've even had a chance to develop a sense of self outside of it. And that will never happen. That is why this is a cult death trap. Hey folks, if you're still watching, it probably means you would like my other content. So why don't you give me a like, a follow, and share, because it really helps my channel and gets me out in front of other people so they can know more about what is going on behind the scenes at Watchtower. Here's what my future would have looked like if I became a pioneer at a young age. Parents are instructed to read Matthew with them, which is interesting because that passage is what's part of the Great Commission, Jesus telling his disciples, grown adults, and to make disciples of others. There's no mention of children. But in this context, it's being used to justify a child doing this work full-time. Full-time devoting your life to preaching. If that's not enough, they're even encouraged to go out and seek a pioneer and ask them what they love about it. Sadly, you will not get the truth. They're going to reinforce the idea that this is a wonderful thing, that they love it, and they are spiritually fulfilled, when inside they likely feel empty and hollow. It's social modeling, visual reinforcement, and spiritual framing, all in one tidy little worksheet and cartoon. They say it's the best life ever, but if it really was, why do they need to pitch it to kids like it's an adventure movie? You don't have to romanticize something that's truly rewarding unless it isn't. Hey kids, do you want cake?
Yes, I love cake. I want cake.
You don't have to convince kids to eat cake. And of course, what's missing from all of this is any mention of the real cost. Pioneering isn't just a spiritual label. It is a massive commitment, and time suck, energy suck. And it sucks your resources. It's just a big suckety suck. No paycheck, no mental health support, no insurance. And for many, it's real burnout. But in that cartoon, none of that exists. There's no quotas, no isolation. Just smiles and spiritual adventures and the empty promise of becoming God's friend. And as for the future, if Watchtower gets their way, this is only the beginning. They've already purchased a huge property where they plan on pumping out more media for their members to consume. They're already producing more kids' media. It's only a matter of time before there's JW Cinematic Universe, and who knows, maybe even a school program like curriculum. All to keep kids locked into a path they never really chose. Children are the only future that Watchtower's got. And if they can intercept them early enough, they might just hold on to the next generation. Thanks for watching, folks. I know this might seem like just a cartoon, but for people like me, it's very personal. Although I wasn't subjected to these kind of cartoons back in my day because they didn't have them, thank God. We just had my book of Bible stories or my book of horror stories. Even though we didn't have these cartoons back in my day, I remember how the messages shaped how I saw myself and what I thought my purpose should be and how much I owed of myself to the organization. That's why I make these videos. It's not just to call out what Watchtower is doing, but to help others recognize it for what it is and hope that it doesn't take root in the next generation. If this resonated with you or reminded you of your own experiences inside of a high control religion, I'd love to hear your story. If there's anything I missed or you have any questions, share it with me in the comments. Till next time, stay curious and keep questioning.